Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy. I have another ship with me video for you today. In these videos, I go day to day and I share the different items that I'm shipping out. You want to be sure to watch all the way to the end because I always have interesting and unique items, and hopefully you can learn some new things to keep your eyes out for while you're out thrifting. It was a pretty good weekend. I have 7 sales shipping out, which is a little bit higher than what I've been having. Not as many crazy high dollar sales though, but definitely some good sales. So let's get started. Oh, also for those of you who are regular viewers, I finally got a thermal printer. I got the Jaden's one off of Amazon. It was on sale for Prime Days or Prime Deals or whatever it's called. So I think it was only about 70 bucks. So I decided to finally do it. And so far I really like it. I think it's just going to take some getting used to, just a little different process than what I did before. But I'm sure it will go a lot quicker so I don't have to tape the paper labels on the boxes anymore. Okay, so the first item that sold is this vintage sterling silver cuff bracelet. I just thought this was really pretty. This is signed 925 and with the Tasco mark, so it is a nicer designer piece. It did sell for $95. This has been listed a fair amount of time, probably maybe even close to 2 years, but I'm happy getting that $95. I got this in a large lot of jewelry, and my average cost of goods for that was about $5. After Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $68.68. I think that is really great. Very excited about that. Okay, the next sale was this pair of Dansko clogs, kind of the Mary Jane style. And I've been saying I'm really enjoying selling Danskos again. They've been selling pretty quickly for me and for decent prices. These sold for $50, which I think is great. They took slightly longer than some of the other ones, but only like a couple of months, I think, to sell. They had some kind of distressing and scuffs and stuff, so maybe that's why they took a little bit longer. But I picked these up at the Goodwill for $7. My Goodwill has kind of backed off on pricing up Danskos. For a little while there, they were pricing them high, and I think people stopped buying them, so they started pricing them reasonable again. So these were marked $6.99, which I think is great. So for the remainder of the video, when I talk about my profit, you can assume that I am deducting any website fees, my cost of goods, and any shipping discounts. So my profit on these was $33. I am also happy with that. And the next item is something from my personal closet, and it's this cute little Kate Spade bag. It does also have a crossbody strap. I picked this up on Poshmark a couple of years ago, and I thought it was really cute, but I just didn't end up reaching for this pink color as much as I thought I would, so I decided to list it. It sold for $55. I paid about $38 total for this with tax and shipping. I think I paid $30 plus tax, and they had offered me discounted shipping. So did I say this sold for $55? I didn't make a huge profit, $6, but I bought this for myself. I had it for a couple years. I used it a few times. So not really going to worry too much about not making a huge profit on that because I did not originally purchase it to resell. Okay, the next item that sold is this rag & bone denim skirt, and it is a midi length. It has a pretty high slit in the front, has some distressing on the bottom. This was a size 29. Now, I'm pretty particular with the rag & bone stuff that I pick up. It does have a very high retail price, but it just doesn't always hold its resale value. This sold for $55, which I was happy with. The fabric on this is buttery soft. I don't know what they use in it. I think maybe lyocell, if that's what it is, but super, super soft. And I picked that up because I thought it was a, you know, somewhat trendy style, and I saw it working with lots of different kind of, or you could style it a lot of different ways. Like you could wear it with cowboy boots, or you could wear it with like a band tee, or you could dress it up and wear it with, you know, some pointed heeled boots or something. Plus it was only $7 at the Goodwill. Might have actually been less than that. But that made my profit $37, which I am happy with. And this was not listed a super long time. I think maybe a month or two. So I think that's great. I'm happy with that, especially since in the past, Rag & Bone has not sold very quickly for me. Okay, the next item took forever and a day to sell. It is this scarf, and it is boiled wool, but I just thought it was really unique with the little butterfly and then the flower. Here's the back. It still shows it's not quite as bright though. I picked this up, the other reason I picked it up was because it was at the bins, the Goodwill outlet. And so I paid less than $1 for it. I just thought it was like artsy and cool, but it took a long time to sell. That's okay. It ended up selling for $20. Like I said, I paid less than $1. I think the bins closest to me is only $1.89 per pound, and this doesn't weigh anywhere near a pound. So that made my profit $15. Had this been a quicker flip, that would have been great, just fine. I don't typically pick up scarves unless they are like a designer brand or something. They just typically don't sell really well for me. I mean, cashmere will, of course, or sell better, but not super great. Do you guys have good luck with scarves? I'd like to know. I have had pretty good luck with Ferragamo scarves, and I think I've sold like a YSL and a Givenchy scarf before, and they didn't take a terribly long time to sell. The next sale is a bundle, and it is of this leather briefcase. The brand is Latico. It does come with a shoulder strap. Now this is really distressed and worn, and for a while there I was doing really well with distressed leather items. I could, you know, sell them for 40-50 bucks, and they would sell in a reasonable amount of time. I guess the trendiness of that has passed, maybe, or maybe it's different keywords that I need to be using now. Let me know in the comments if you still do well with distressed items. So the bundle sold for $50, or distressed leather items. And the next item was this Pandora style bracelet. It's just a silver tone metal. It had a couple of charms on it. And this did have a brand name on it, but I can't remember, or I looked it up and there was a brand name to it, but I can't remember what it was. I didn't have it priced very high, in the $20 range. And I think this was priced in the $30 range or something. 39 maybe, I'm not really sure. But I am happy to see both of them go. I haven't had this bracelet a terribly long time, but the briefcase I've had a really long time, probably a couple of years. So happy for that to move out. I got the briefcase for less than $1 at a fill the bag sale, so that's great. And then I also got the little bracelet for $1 at a small town thrift store. I grabbed it real quick thinking that it could be Pandora, but it wasn't. But Luckily, I only had $1 into each piece, so that made my total cost of goods $2, which made my profit $38. That's great to me. I do definitely wish that that leather briefcase hadn't hung around for so long. Interestingly enough though, so like I said, I used to do well with distressed leather items. And I was watching a YouTube video last night, and I can't think of what the gal's name is now. It's like the Educated Reseller or something like that. If I the Empowered Reseller, I think that's what it is. If I find it and think of it, I will share her YouTube channel. But she talks a lot about unique things that are selling for higher dollar amounts, things that you wouldn't think of. And she did a video on how popular thrashed items can be right now. So of course, Carhartt coats, jeans, there was like men's dress shirts that were thrashed, graphic tees. I don't think there was any shoes, but thrashed items were selling for, you know, $40 to $150 or $200 for the Carhartt coats. So I did think that was really interesting and maybe something worth kind of looking at sold comps for, to see if you want to keep your eyes out for that sort of thing, like at estate sales or the bins or something like that, because if you can get in with a low cost of goods and sell something for $40, that's great. Okay, so all of those items sold on Poshmark, and I had one sale on Cherish, and it is this vintage kind of gold filigree looking waste paper basket. It does have a plastic liner, and there was a pretty significant crack in the liner, which I didn't notice when I picked it up at the estate sale, but the buyer bought it anyways, and it sold relatively quickly within a couple of months. It sold for $61. I only paid $3 for this at an estate sale, so that made my profit $45.90. I'm happy with that. It will take a little bit to package it up, but nothing really terrible. So I hope you guys' sales have been good. Today is Monday, July 28th. And as always, if you enjoy my videos and you haven't already, I would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel. It's totally free and it really means the world to me. Also, if you like this video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that really helps me out. But don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell this week, and I will be right back. Thanks for watching so far. Hey again, it's Wednesday, and I've got a couple more things to ship out. Has not been a very busy week, but as I said earlier, I didn't list very much last week, so that's probably why I'm getting back into it. So hopefully things pick up for me. Also, I just have to vent a little bit. It's been kind of a rough couple of weeks. Our AC went out yesterday. When we were at the coast, our truck went out, and that was a pretty expensive repair. And the week before that, our washing machine went out, and that was, you know, not outrageous, but a couple $100. So if you guys could send me good vibes that this streak of bad luck, do they say it comes in threes? Just send me good vibes that the bad luck is over, because you know, I am very fortunate and I do try and focus on that, but sometimes just too many things at once. So I'm going to try and focus on the positive. At least I do have a couple of sales. One of them sold on eBay. So that is the first item. And it is this Dries Van Noten polo shirt. And if you're not familiar with this brand, it is a very, very expensive retail brand. This I picked up in Hawaii when I found all those men's designer clothing. I did not realize at the time that it had these loose threads at that center part there, quite a few of them. I've had this listed on Poshmark for months, 6+ months. And all I've gotten on there was $22 offers. And I know that it was flawed, but I just felt like it was worth more than that, because this probably retailed for $250 or $300. So I counter offered those. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll cross-list this to eBay. And I just cross-listed it a couple of days ago. I got this offer. It is an international buyer in Korea. But because my account is in good standing, I'm automatically opted into the eBay global shipping. And don't quote me on this, but from what I understand, it like once the item gets to the eBay shipping hub, so all I'm responsible for is shipping it to the eBay hub, and then they take care of all of the international forwarding and things like that. And once it leaves the shipping hub there, then I am released of any return obligations. Let me know in the comments down below if that's how it works. I tried to read up on it a little bit. And at first I was like, oh, it's an international buyer. I didn't think I put international shipping options on my eBay. And I was kind of confused about that. I didn't realize that they automatically just opt you into the global, what is it called? Global shipping program. But anyways, that's cool because it sold for $40 and sold quickly. I paid about $6 for this. I am estimating my fees when it comes to eBay because I don't have the patience to nickel and dime and figure out what the exact is. So I'm just taking 20% off of my sale price, which I think combined with what eBay charges and then any possible shipping deficits would equal out the same. I think I charged $5.25 shipping for this, and it might be a little bit more than that. So it made my profit about $26. I'm just fine with that. I'm excited that I listed it and it sold quickly. I asked earlier about Tyvek envelopes, and these are the ones that I got from Walmart. Very plain, but that's what they had, and I wanted to have some on hand until I heard from you guys what you guys recommend. Also, for fellow eBayers, so should I be folding this down to make it as small as possible? Does that matter on how much the shipping cost is, or is it just the weight? Let us all know in the comments down below. So if you're thinking, or if others are thinking about selling on eBay and they have questions, then they can look in the comments too. Okay, the next item that sold is a pair of Viore jogger pants. And I have heard so many good things about this brand. The two times that I have had it, it hasn't sold super quickly, but somewhat quickly. I think these have been listed for a couple of months, and they sold for $30, which I was hoping for more. So there is the brand tag. These did have a fair amount of wear and pilling, and also one of the little laces here was missing the tab. So maybe $30 is a good price. These are super soft. I did have them listed higher, I think maybe at 40 something or 52, I can't remember. But anyways, I hadn't had any Poshmark sales. I had one other lowball offer on Poshmark that I counter offered. So I just decided to accept that because I had only paid $1 for these at a yard sale. I happened upon the yard sale on the second day in the afternoon, and everything was a mess. And there's this big pile on the table, and she said everything on that table is $1. The other stuff is priced as marked that was hanging up. So I went to the priced as marked stuff first to kind of see get an idea of what kind of stuff she had, what the good stuff was, and the brands were pretty decent. So I decided to look through the dollar table, and I found a Patagonia top and a couple other random things for myself, and some cool really, I can't think of what they're called, but really thin beach towels that fold up really small, and I got 3 or 4 of those for $1 a piece. So turned out to be a good buy. These sold on Poshmark, if I didn't already say that, and my profit was $23. So I hope you guys are having better sales than I am this week. It is July 30th. So people could be focusing on finishing up with summer or getting ready for back to school. I'm not really sure, or it's just because I haven't been listing, or I hadn't been listing as much as I should be. I think I already said this. I got off my sleep schedule. I can totally tell a difference. And it just, yeah, when I have that set schedule, it really makes a difference in how motivated I feel during the day and my decision-making process. So if you haven't tried that, I would highly recommend. And after I've been trying to this week too, but after we go on this trip this weekend, I'll have 3 weeks before our next trip. And so I'm going to really try and get back on that sleep schedule and my work schedule coming into the shop, because I just feel so much better about myself when I get here at a reasonable time and I get stuff done in the morning. I just feel like I can be more productive. So keep your fingers crossed that I get back at that. And let's see, so we are leaving early Friday morning and it is Wednesday. So I'll probably just ship one more time late tomorrow. And so this may be a shorter video, but that's okay. I will see you in just a bit. Hey, again, it's actually the next week. I didn't end up having any more sales for last week, which means that week turned out to be not very good at all. So I'll go ahead and share my total sales and statistics with you. And then I've had a number of people ask for me to talk more about the shipping options on Cherish. So if you're thinking about selling on there, or if you have been and you're confused, I'll do a pretty quick little kind of, I don't know if tutorial is the right word, but I'll explain the different shipping options to helpfully answer some questions for you guys. Okay, so my total sales for the week were $456. That just goes to show you that when you don't list and you don't work, your sales suffer from it. And I've said this over and over again, but if you're new to my channel, I think it's really important that I share the good, the bad, and the ugly, and show you how important it is to stay consistent and list in demand, desirable items so that your sales keep on rolling. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so that was my total sales. My total cost of goods was $70, and my total profit after any website fees, cost of goods, and any shipping discounts was $292.58. This is not the kind of week I want to be having at all, but thank goodness I've had some really amazing weeks, and of course I set money aside for slow times like this. I had 9 sales, which made my average sale price $50.67, my average cost of goods $7.78, and my average profit per sale $32.51. Those are still fine statistics. I like to have higher average sale prices, but it doesn't always work out that way. So like I said, I had 9 sales, but I sold 10 items. I sold 1 hard good, 2 purses, 2 pieces of jewelry, 3 pieces of clothing, 1 accessory, and 1 pair of shoes. No real standouts again this week, but I still think it's fun to share. Okay, so for Cherish shipping, and if you don't know what Cherish is, I always have the Cherish Seller's Guide linked in the description box below, and it tells you everything you could want to know about selling on there. Cherish is primarily a site for home decor and furniture. You can get approved to sell jewelry and handbags on there, but you can't do like clothing or electronics or any, it's not just a general site like eBay. It is also curated, so you could submit something to sell on there and they could decline it, saying that it doesn't fit their vibe, which I have had a few things declined over the years, but really not very many. They are just trying to keep the site very nice and upscale so that they can continue to attract a wealthy buyer or, you know, good quality buyers, and I sell a lot to interior designers and architects on there. I've also sold quite a few times to set designers for movies and TV shows. So if you are into, you know, hard goods and home decor, or mainly home decor decorative items, it's really a great site to consider. Okay, so when you get to the shipping option, the first option is to either have Cherish arrange shipping or arrange your own shipping. So if you arrange your own shipping, it's just as it sounds. You package up the item, you measure it, you weigh it, and you set your own shipping price on Cherish. So once you click the arrange your own, it will ask you for that additional information. If you pick have Cherish arrange shipping, they will send you a prepaid UPS label based on the measurements that you input for your item. You don't have to put the weight on there. I think that they just estimate. A lot of my smaller home decor items are typically just say 4 pounds. And I assume, just like Poshmark does, I assume that they have some sort of arrangement with UPS that if it's over, they get charged. If it's under, they get a refund. Like I said, you're not setting the shipping price. You don't have to worry about that at all. Cherish sets the price and then automatically puts it in your listing so that the buyer can see it and the buyer pays the shipping. The next thing that'll pop up when you pick have Cherish arrange shipping is it'll ask you, does it fit in a box or is it too big to fit in a box? Because like I said, you can also sell furniture on there. So if you have something that is too large to fit in a box, and UPS does have maximum box size and weight limits, you can look that up on their site. But if it's a piece of furniture you pick too big to fit in a box, Cherish also arranges that shipping, and they will send a trucking company to come pick up your item. And you don't have to package the item at all. The shipping trucking company, they will come and they will have blankets. They'll have like this big saran wrap that they'll wrap it up with. And they use only like companies that they have pre-vetted to ship the furniture items. And most of the people that they send out specialize in shipping furniture. And so they're, you know, it's equivalent to having like white glove shipping if you are shipping furniture. So that is really easy to do if you do sell furniture. Sometimes it does take a little bit longer for items to be picked up and delivered based on your location. So I am in kind of a rural area. I'm about 4.5, 5 hours from any really big metropolitan cities. So the shipping companies aren't coming through my area as often. So oftentimes my furniture shipments take between 4 and 6 weeks to be delivered. Now, if you live on the East Coast or the West Coast, you know, near New York or near California, those are very hot, popular areas, and they are going up and down those coasts all the time. So your shipments may be delivered a little bit sooner than, say, mine would. Okay, so let's say you select fits in a box. Then 2 more options will come down after that. You can pick Cherish drop off. This is where you drop it off like at UPS and they will pack it for you. Cherish will still provide you with the prepaid shipping label, but it will give you an amount when you pick this Cherish drop off, and you pay that amount. That amount comes out of your earnings. So if you just don't want to deal with packaging it and you've priced your item up far enough to, you know, absorb that cost, then you can do that and they'll just deduct it from your profit. I always pick pack the item myself. So I pick first have Cherish arrange shipping, fits in a box, and then pack the item myself. So this is where you can add on that packaging fee that I talk about in my videos a lot. So you are responsible then for providing your own box, your own packaging materials, and ensuring that the item arrives to the buyer safely. Cherish does not offer insurance on any of their shipments. It's only for loss, not damage. So if you don't properly pack your item and it arrives there broken, I think you are just out. I've only had that happen one time, and it wasn't the whole item. It was a decanter and the stopper got chipped. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I just offered a credit to the buyer and they accepted it and it was fine. But if the whole item had broken, I think that Cherish would probably just refund the buyer and then you would lose your earnings for that. So that is one very important thing to know. And you cannot add insurance to their shipping label. You would just have to arrange your own if you want to add insurance to it. And so then with this, I typically add on the packaging fee. And this is a fee that I receive, and it is in addition to the shipping fee, and the buyer pays both of those. When they go to check out, it'll just show like, item price, any fees, then it'll say shipping. And it's just one line, and it is the amounts of what Cherish is charging for shipping plus your packaging fee added together. So the buyer doesn't see it in multiple lines, which I think is helpful, but it can make your shipping price look higher. I think I did talk about this in a previous video, but in case you missed that, I base my packaging fee on the difficulty of packaging the item. So if it is very breakable and it's going to take me a while to package and I need to purchase a lot of packaging materials, then it will be a little bit higher. So on average, let's say I have a set of 10 glasses, like drinking glasses. I typically charge between $10 and $15 for a packaging fee for that type of item. If I have a large breakable vase that I'm going to have to, make a box for and buy a whole bunch of peanuts for, again, that's probably going to be in the $15 range. For larger pieces of furniture that is not so big that you would have the white glove shipping, but you're going to have to buy a large box and lots of materials, I usually charge between $20 and $30 for packaging, something like that. The highest amount that I've charged for a packaging fee is $75, and that is when I am shipping a large, like I used to ship a lot of Kurdish Jer metal wall sculptures, and they have all these different parts. They're not square, they're not round, and so and they're large but flat, so you always have to build a box, and that takes me forever to do, but multiple times I have sold those with a $75 packaging fee and without a problem. Let's see. I think that covers everything. Hopefully that helps you guys who have not been understanding how the shipping on there works. It is pretty complicated, but if you are comfortable, setting your own shipping price, then you can just arrange your own shipping too. I like the Cherishes because they just send me a label. I don't have to worry about making it compact to keep the shipping price down. I just worry about making sure that it is packed very well and it arrives safely. I also like that I can add on that packaging fee, and that goes directly to me. Of course, when you do your own shipping, you get that shipping cost too. You can offer free shipping on there. I never have done that. I've never seen a reason to do that. So anyways, if you guys have any other questions about that, let me know in the comments down below. But I do really encourage you, if you're thinking about selling on Cherish, read through that whole buyer's guide and go in and give it a try. It may seem overwhelming, but it's just like any other site when you first start. You just have to learn as you go and learn the different things along the way. but all of the sites do have step-by-step instructions for you, and that's how I learned. And I really think, of course, I'm happy to help you guys, but I really think the best way is to try and learn yourself first, and then, you know, look to other people for resources. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you are enjoying my videos. I hope my sales turn around, but I was out of town over the weekend again for 4 days, so I didn't get much work done, but I'm really going to buckle down and get some listings done this week. So hopefully I can have some more exciting sales to share with you. If you enjoy my videos and you haven't subscribed already, I would love it if you would do that. It really helps me and my channel out. It keeps me going. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And thanks again. I'll see you guys all again next week. Bye-bye.